What up, boys and girls? This is your boy, Prakash AMRITRAJ, and you are about to listen to me on the Brothers on Tennis.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. And we're coming back at you, folks. We are into part 2 of our interview with the one and the only Mr. Prakash AMRITRAJ, man. It got so good, we had to cut it over into a second part, y'all. Bryce, are we ready?
Let's do it. Well, I tell you what, it's inspirational just to hear somebody connect the dots like that. I mean, and I guarantee you, our listeners, they had no idea that your hands were in so many different pots.
Exactly, right?
know? And kind of speaking of pots, I do want to bring up, your experience with Citi Taste of Tennis. And we were fortunate enough to participate with you a couple of weeks ago with Chef JJ, cooking that chicken curry, which was so delicious.
Oh man!
And that Legend series.
How funny was Mac, guys? How funny was John?
He was awesome. Tell us, how did you get involved with Citi Taste of Tennis, and talk a little bit about the Legend series that you're helping to host.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm just going to add one more little sentence to what we were just finishing on before jumping into this. You talked about being in a few different pies, and look, I think everyone should find that line between not overextending themselves and still being involved in enough things that make them want to jump out of bed in the morning. I struggle to go to bed at night because I'm like, oh, can we get back to work, please? Like that's how much I love what we're doing. But I will say, whether it's within the acting or within the movie world where there are many different jobs, me doing some kind of writing, me doing some kind of acting or producing, each thing has helped me be better at the other thing. So similarly, the acting has helped me so much in the broadcasting.
Yep.
The broadcasting and seeing how everything functions there has helped me so much in the producing. And so I would just recommend for anyone out there who has multiple passions, just continue learning. And the best way to learn is by doing. Don't just always sit on the sidelines with a book. Yes, prep. I am all about prep. I do diligent prep, but jump in.
Right.
You learn by doing, and I can't enforce that enough because so you have no idea when certain things are going to help you. I always say my dad, he Miyagi'd me. He Mr. Miyagi'd me because so many of the things that I'm able to do now, I saw him do for 35 years, but I didn't know he was teaching me. I was just watching it, because he's the GOAT, man, in my eyes. But going back to Taste of Tennis, Penny and Judy Lerner, man, can I give them a hug right now on this?
Absolutely, you can.
on this podcast. First, I got to give them credit for something that they probably don't know about during my playing days when I was out of the tournament, we used to do some partying, back in the day. And man, some of the Taste of Tennis events in New York, boy, that was some fun. All of the players, we would go eat and drink, and it was New York City in the summer. It really is the premier off-court event. Like, we just had a ball. So that was my experience as a player. And then last year in Miami, we're doing all sorts of content while I'm there, and TC is like, yo, go cover Taste of Tennis. So I showed up there with a camera crew, and, there's no set plan, So much of what I was doing last year, this whole Prakash Worldwide thing was, just kind of go and figure it out. So we're kind of, figuring everything out on the go. So I'd grab some players, do some stuff on the red carpet, do an opening, do a closing, and kind of cut it together, get some shots of me eating or whatever. And little did I know, I guess Penny was watching everything I did that night. And, Venus came through. We me and her had a blast and all this stuff. I guess Penny was just watching. So Penny reached out through another friend, and we sat down in Miami later that event, I think maybe like on the Thursday or something like that. And she just was like, how she is. She's got so much energy, and she's just like the kindest person. So she was just like, listen, I checked out your Instagram too. I really love what you're about. And I think so much of what Taste of Tennis is about and so much of what you're about is such a good fit. So I don't know what it is, but I want to find something for us to do together. So I said, great. I would absolutely love that. So I was traveling last year, and we were close to doing some things, but travel, blah blah blah. You know how things are. Didn't work out. Chatted a little bit this year, and then next thing you know, we're in this situation, and Penny had this idea for this Legend series, and I'm like, that sounds so cool. And I know Maria Sharapova. We used to have the same trainer out in Torrance, so I'd see her there. I'd go at like 6 in the morning, then she would come after, and I'd see her. So I had known her for a little while, and I was hoping Johnny Mack would remember me. I mean, he saw me in diapers, and then Andy Roddick and I played against him and I think Robert Kendrick at Randall's Island once. So I was hoping, he'd be cool with me, and he was amazing. And then the last show was Billie Jean King, who I've known forever also. So I'm like, yo, these are the guests. Are you kidding? I would love to do this. So we got started, and we finished our last one yesterday, and what a fun experience. I think it went well for everyone watching, and I think it's a really cool combination of stuff, because you have these chefs who, I mean, they're storytellers with what they do. We talked about Chef JJ, and when he talked about mixing the cultures together and making this dish, it was beautiful. And then you're able to listen to these stories, and if I can help tie it together in any way, as a fan, that's something I would want to watch.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, you have definitely done a great job. Like I said, we were on the one with you and Johnny Mack, and it was fantastic. It was really great. And Prakash, I know, just kind of talking about culture, can you talk us through just some of the opportunities in which you kind of try to represent your own Indian heritage and some of the things that you kind of have going on or have done?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think a mistake that a lot of people make is you're always waiting to, I'm using air quotes here, make it or have a big platform before you can say what you want to say or make a difference or represent. That's not it. Every single day you wake up and you go out into the world, assuming you're not just staying in your room, you have a chance to be the person you want to be.
That's right.
Now that comes down to, I mean, you can be a kind person, you can be a mean person, you can be an inspirational person, you can be a person who puts people down. You literally have all the choices in the world. That's like another thing that I'm all about. Every single thing is a choice. Some are not good choices, but
right.
you still got a choice. So taking that into your question, I think we have opportunities all the time. I mean, with the clothing we wear, we make statements.
Yeah.
I mean, I wear Rumble in the Jungle shirts, all the time. And that, what, that leaves a certain imprint.
Right.
I think, sometimes I'll wear like a old team tennis jacket from 1975 with Pops' name, the LA Strings, and an Indian flag on the back, along with jeans and a shirt.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, look, I see someone walking down the street with that. It tells me, oh, wow, they're an old school sports fan. They got a love for their roots, history. And, so I think you're always talking, even if your mouth's not moving.
Right.
That's right.
So
That's right.
There's always an opportunity. And, I think people should just, do it as much as they're comfortable with, because you shouldn't try to be another person. Some people are more vocal, which is great. Some people are less vocal, which is great. But there's room for everybody, and I think what makes this world, especially this country, and I'm on your podcast, so I will say this nice.
Put it out there. Yeah.
Come on now.
I'm going to say this nice and loud. This country, which when Pops came over in 1972. You want to talk about the land of opportunity? I mean, this is the land where Indian immigrants and all these people would bleed and scrape to get to, because it's a place you could make something of yourself and actually become like a champion of life. And now you've seen so many immigrants come and do well here, this country is literally based off of multicultural immigrants coming from, different countries. That's literally what this country is like made up of. So I think it behooves all of us to embrace it all. I mean, look, wherever we're living in the States, we have access to the most amazing Chinese food, the most amazing Indian food, the most amazing French cuisine. That's what America is. And, I mean, and to a large degree, the world. So, I think it's all about embracing that. You want to show love to your own roots, your own culture. You want to show love to a different culture. Fantastic. But it's all about the love, not about the hate. You should be able to love your culture and all the cultures that inspire you without having any kind of hate for any other culture,
Say that again so the people in the back can hear it.
I'm trying to
One more time for the people in the back. I'm trying to tell you. So look, what we want to do, we're going to wrap this interview up. I'm telling you what, this has been one of the more insightful interviews because sometimes you go into an interview thinking you kind of know everything, and you know the majority of stuff. Yeah. And I'm sitting here like, I know nothing about Prakash.
Well, I tell you what, if we ever see each other in person, we can go out for some tequila, and I'll give you some really good stories.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Absolutely.
Because that's one of the things that we were very disappointed about with what happened with Corona, is that part of what we want to do is we want to have an on-site presence. So we launched last year at the U.S. Open. And we got a lot of really good attention. Like, as an example, Patrick McEnroe stopped us. He saw our Brothers on Tennis, merchandise. He was like, I like that, Brothers on Tennis,
That's where we met Zena Garrison, right in front of out there.
Right.
Yeah.
So once things kind of open back up, we plan to be back out there and to, be a visible presence at these tournaments.
Yeah, we're going to find you. Yeah, just know.
Listen. Anytime you guys want to chat, you got me. And just make sure you're, going up and chatting with everyone. There are so many people who would love to talk to you guys. You guys bring out, the best. I mean, I look, I smile when I hear you guys, and you guys make me want to share more. And I think the more people from our sport, whether they're playing or not, legends of the game, whatever they may be, it's a beautiful thing. I just love what you guys do.
That is awesome.
We appreciate
Thank you. We really do appreciate that. So what we're going to do to kind of end this interview is we're going to tap into your analyst side. And we have a couple of questions that were submitted by a couple of our followers, and then we're going to do a very quick rapid fire to get your gut reaction on a couple of players on tour. So for the first question we have for you is from one of our longtime followers, Gabriel, we're shouting you out. Gabriel, the tennis kid, he wanted to know, what was your favorite go-to protein food, power food, when you played juniors?
You guys want to know the truth?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Number 4, supersized. Double quarter pounder with cheese, large fries, large Coke.
Now, should we be telling the juniors that?
No, first of all, that is absolutely not what you want to do. Listen, you guys have to understand that this whole nutrition and trying to be professional, that started on the tour like in the middle of my career. Okay? It was not very professional before that. Oh my God, if I tell you stories from what I heard about the 70s and 80s, oh my God, these guys were animals. And they were still, winning slams. Now everyone is just down to the ounce. Everyone is perfect. So that definitely evolved. I wouldn't recommend that, but yeah, juniors, that was it. Designate tournaments on the weekends and some McDonald's.
There you go, man. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, because what it's saying, Prakash, is that you got to keep your mind right.
Right.
You got to know that in the juniors, you give yourself a little bit of leeway. So let's be reasonable. Now, Another question that we got from Andrea Barrett. And this is in regards to your girl, who you were just talking about, Miss Serena Williams. Her question is, will Serena get 24, and will Roger get another Grand Slam title?
Oh, you guys are, man. Okay. Listen, I've kept it 100 with you guys the whole time, so why stop now, right?
Right.
Serena, I believe, is going to get number 24.
Okay.
Absolutely. Just because I think the mind of a player, the heart of a player, when it's at that level of being a warrior, I literally take impossible out of the equation. You know, Ali had no chance in Zaire. Ali should have never come back to win it the third time, but he was the only person in the entire globe who thought he should and could.
Right.
You know, so I'm just not in a habit of counting out, legends who have hearts like that.
That's
You know,
right.
I've seen what Serena can do. I mean, on one leg, I'm still not betting against her. You know, and not because I think she's that much better than the competition. This is the most exciting time in the entire women's game, by the way. Let me say, because we got so many girls that can win slams. Swiatek won the French without dropping more than 4 games in a set. You know, Sonia Kennan thinks she should be winning every week. It's a beautiful thing. Everyone's got belief that invincibility thing may not be there for Serena, but you can't discount a lioness's heart. You know, and I think she's also playing for a lot of other things right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, and she knows she has been and always will be a beacon of hope and inspiration. And I think that's just a few more gallons of fuel in the tank. So, I'm hoping things normalize a little bit. She gets back to, being able to play a little bit more regularly. I think match play will definitely help her, because match fit is different than practice fit. And lastly, look, she's been right there. She lost a brutal match to Vika in the semis in New York, and Vika lost a brutal match in the finals. That's a few points here and there. So I'm gonna go with yes on Serena, and let me preface by saying I love Roger so much. Roger, oh God, what can I say? He is just, the guy made $100 million last year because he is just the most perfect human out there. Okay? If I owned MasterCard, I would go beg him to wear it on his shoulder. Okay?
Right.
But having said that, I think not playing this year at Wimbledon really hurt him, right? Because every Wimbledon chance you miss for Roger that's a huge one. Because I think he's conceded to the fact he's not winning the French, right? So you look at Australia, which, I mean, it's a war over there. It's a war of attrition. So, I think he's going to have to get lucky with a bunch of straight set wins, maybe squeeze out, 1 4-setter, and then see what's left in the tank, for the end. Maybe if the U.S. Open's playing a little quicker, he's got a shot. But the problem is, now you got what's happening on the women's side. On the men's side, all these young guys are like, no. We're not playing for number 4 over here. Okay? We think we can beat anyone, and okay, you guys are the best, but we think we can win. And I think that little bit of thinking you can win or not thinking you can win is a huge big deal right now. And I mean, look, man, Djokovic, Nadal, they are still just defying everything. So I think it's going to be hard pressed for Roger to get one more. But the last thing I'll say is taking this time off this year, I actually think has been a good thing for Roger.
I do too.
Because he's been the best. He's been the best in any sport I've ever seen in my entire life. LeBron's probably up there with him of being intelligent enough to know yourself and how to elongate your career. They do everything they can. LeBron was in his 17th season this year, but he's playing more efficiently than he did 17 years ago in his rookie season. So Fed knows all that. And unlike, a Pete or, some of the other guys who it was a bit of a grind for them towards the end, this dude loves playing tennis. Yes. He literally loves playing tennis. Like, he still enjoys practicing. He still enjoys getting out there. So I'll end with those two things, I think, being benefits for him to possibly take another one.
Yeah, I don't think we can disagree with anything that you said there.
Spot on.
And anybody that listens to us know that part of the reason why I picked this question is because we are huge Williams sisters,
yes,
and Roger fans. So, so we're going to end on this. We have 5 players that we want to throw at you with rapid fire and just kind of get what your gut reaction, feel, experience, thoughts are on them. So here we go. Number one is interesting because it's actually a pair of siblings, and that is the Emer brothers.
Oh, I'd say the words that come to mind are low key, very strong athletes, need a little bit more oomph. I'm gonna use that word because it encompasses a few different things, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. I mean, they got this low key cool about them, you know. They're very low key. They don't try to overdo anything on the court. They're kind of happy being within themselves, which I think is pretty cool. Very European of them.
Right.
But at the same time, I think they don't have the cleanest strokes out there, so you're gonna have to make up for that with something else. And I think we see a little bit of that from Francis, actually. Francis doesn't necessarily have the most classic strokes out there,
right?
But man, when Francis, I mean, look, I know he had a little bit of a slump, but now he's like real comeback strong with some tournaments this year. He's been playing well in Europe right now. By the way, a little shout out to them. Him and Zach, they went down, picked up a challenger title. Takes a lot of heart, and then come back playing good tennis now. But see, Francis, when he's playing well, he's got that oomph. He's got that I belong here, I'm willing to die on the court type thing. And if that's coming out through the screen, the other dude on the other side of the net is feeling that.
Right.
And Francis he's got a bit of a physical presence, so I think he makes up for maybe not having the cleanest stroke production out there. I think the Emer brothers could use a little bit of that.
Gotcha. Very nice. Very nice. All right. The next player in the rapid fire, Prakash, is Andrei Rublev.
Maybe the best timing on the tour right now. This guy he's probably about 94 pounds, completely soaking wet. Guys.
Right.
Okay. And the guy, first of all, he's only got 3 speeds of hitting the ball: hard, harder, and hardest.
Right.
And but I tell you what, like I said, I'm sticking with that. That's the one thing I'm saying about the kid. He might have the best timing on the tour, because to have that kind of frame and get out there and strike the ball like your Agassi in '92, it's mind-boggling. And let me tell you something scary about this kid. He has got belief.
Yeah.
He does not step on a court thinking he should lose to anyone. So I think it's going to be very special to see what he does moving forward.
All right. Here's a good one for you. Kim Clijsters.
I mean, if you want like a quick short answer, it's probably like one of the most loved. She's so well liked on both tours. And look, she played in a different generation than the players right now. So, she was in the time of Roddick, and I used to see her around. She went out with Hewitt earlier in her career, so it was just a completely different generation. But listen, she's proved that impossible is nothing. Coming back and winning a slam after having a child, which I think is so great, because more mothers need that. I think it's a symbol that mothers can go out there and be CEOs, and they can go out there and win Grand Slams. It doesn't have to be I had a kid, everything's got to slow down now. So she's been a great symbol. I think she's gonna have to do some brutal off-court work to kind of get back to a good level. She played some good matches, I think, against Muguruza and some other people, but the women's game is brutal right now, man.
Yeah.
You got to be so physical, and these girls out there, they are such great athletes. I love watching. I mean, you see Svitolina sliding around the court like she's on skates, and slapping the ball all over the place, 100 miles an hour. It's brutal out there. So I think I'll leave it with Absolutely well loved by everyone, but definitely a uphill climb at the moment.
Nice. And I find it interesting that you brought up Svitolina because the next person we have on our list is Gael Monfils.
Gael Monfils is my boy. I love this dude. I love this dude, and I dare you to challenge me someone on the tour who does not love this dude. Right. He is the kind of guy who will bring non-tennis eyeballs to tennis. And that is, we need that in spades. Yes. So there's one more guy who I was about to talk about, but I hope he's on your rapid fire list, so I'm going to keep quiet in case you guys bring him up. But
he's not. Bring him up.
But finishing up with Monfils, listen, I can't say enough about the guy. Love the dude, unbelievable personality. Maybe, trying to think who else, if anyone tops him as the best athlete on the tour. In his prime, easily the best athlete on the tour. Even at his age now, still could be the best athlete on the tour. I will say I'm a little bit bummed because of the pandemic, because I thought earlier this year, this guy was playing not top 10, top 5 tennis.
Yep.
When he had those match points against Djokovic in Dubai, almost took him out.
Yep.
See?
The quality of that match? Oh,
so
my goodness.
Yeah.
Prakash, I'm trying to tell you, I said the exact same thing when we were having our telecast. I said, Gael Monfils is playing Grand Slam tennis, tennis. It was wonderful. So good.
And I tell you what, shameless plug, we've had production meetings where we have said, Gael Monfils is the guy we want to get on this show.
Absolutely.
So if you hear our phone ring, Prakash, we calling to tap into you to get us into Gael. I'm gonna just put it out there on air. That's what we try to do.
Listen, holler at your boy. If I'm at a tournament, I'm next to him. I just put you guys on speaker.
Oh, that's awesome.
I like that.
We love Gael and actually Tsonga. Those two guys, we love them. So
you know what? It's funny. By the way, just a quick thing on Tsonga. For like a decade, because I don't really have a favorite player. Because I think you have a favorite player more when you're a kid. And you're looking up to guys. So my favorite players growing up, to this day, it's Becker and Sampras. Because I grew up on that. But having said that, man, last 15 years, my favorite player out there, it really might have been Joe Willie, because he was like from that old school.
Yeah.
Dude, I will attack and come to the net from 10 feet behind the baseline. I don't care mentality.
You like Joe Willie because he looked like Muhammad Ali.
I did an interview with him. I did call him Baby Ali. I did. And we both flexed for the camera. That was a good piece. I will say that.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So our very last one is Naomi Osaka.
Oh my goodness! I could not believe you didn't throw Nick Kyrgios in there. Okay.
We're gonna do a bonus for Kyrgios. We're gonna do a bonus because we didn't know if you wanted to go there or not. But we'll get Naomi first.
Naomi Osaka. Funny little story. Her agent Stu Dugood asked me to host her business partner summit that she had at the end of last year at the Riviera Country Club in Los Angeles. So I literally did one-on-ones on stage with the heads of all of the companies that she's partners with, and these are behemoths, right? I did a one-on-one with Mav Carter on stage too, which was really insightful, really cool too, really cool dude. But it goes to show you what I'm at a loss for words to describe the impact that this young lady is having, not just on the business world, but as we've seen this year on culture and on boys and girls, quite frankly. It's funny, I texted her agent this after she won the Open, and I said, I don't actually think she knows what she's done these 2 weeks, but I just want you to know how special it is. And, she's going to realize at some point down the road. I think she's in a beautiful spot right now of kind of acting from her gut not necessarily knowing why she's doing certain things. And I think she's leading with her heart, and that's why she's doing some spectacular things out there. And look, she's gonna get a ton of criticism because that's the price you pay for being in that spot. But I think she is a game changer and will continue to be a game changer moving forward. When you have that kind of and you're willing to use it, come hell or high water, some good things are going to happen. You're going to break some eggs on the way to getting there, but some beautiful things are going to happen. So I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan.
Ditto. So are we. I mean, yeah. I mean, we of course going into the U.S. Open wanted Serena to win it. Of
Correct.
course.
Right.
But the fact that when she was bringing out the mask and basically saying, for every match, I'm just going to wear a new mask, and I want, to just try and bring that awareness out. To me, I was like, yeah, if Serena can't win it, I absolutely want Osaka in that final, and I want her to win it because, like you said, she's leading by her heart, and it's such a beautiful thing to see. It was beautiful.
And by the way, let's talk about the pressure there for a minute. The minute you declare that you're gonna do that, first of all, you got million haters, number
right,
one, who are on their tippy toes waiting for you to fall on your face. And in spite of that, you still go out there, wear a different mask each time, and go out there and take the title. That, I mean, it's one thing to say it, quite another thing to do it.
I love when she was responding to people saying, she should stay out of politics and just stick to playing tennis. And she said, you know what? It is my personal goal to win so much to make sure you have to see me as much as you possibly can. And I just have so much respect for her. We were feeling a certain kind of way about her when the whole Sasha split thing happened because we didn't know what was going on there. But, when she had that moment with Coco Gauff after, that match at the U.S. Open, that just, we fell right back in love with her. And then this whole, cultural situation going on now. Yeah, we're just huge fans of Miss Osaka.
I can't remember the exact wording. I know she tweeted it. I'm not quite sure if she put it on her Instagram, but if you dig through her tweets, you'll find it. And I remember screenshotting it because it is an exact definition of exactly how I feel. I'm just trying to find it here. You know what? I actually can't find it on IG. You guys can find it at some point. It's definitely in her Twitter. She literally said, "I would like to thank my ancestors because it's because of their blood running through my veins, which is the reason I basically realized I can't lose."
Right. I saw that. I did. I remember when she posted that.
It gave me goosebumps because I don't think I could have described how I feel and why I work so hard any better. Like I literally think about things my grandmother did 55 years ago when I'm in the gym at 3:30 in the morning, to be able to spur me on. And for her to say that, put that out there, I'm a fan. I just loved it, man.
That was awesome. So here, we're going to clear the stage now for this last one. And Isaac and I have already looked at each other and said, okay, we're going to have our producer make this a part 1 and part 2 interview because we have just gotten our gab on today and we're happy about it.
I apologize, guys.
No,
you
not at
brought
all.
out the talker in me,
No, this is great. This is great.
Love it.
But we are so interested in what you have to say about Mr. Nicholas Kyrgios.
Yes.
Kiggs. I think, and I'll start with the boldest statement first, and then just give you my thoughts. I really think he's one of the best things to happen to the sport. By a long shot. First of all, he is a great dude, right? He is a really, really great dude. And he is literally the things that move him the most are giving to people, helping people, inspiring people, and especially kids.
Yes.
Right? And he's also a giant dog guy, which, he's speaking my language. I wish I could rescue every dog in the world. But this guy, I think he 100% gets an unfair rap. And I'm not sure if I mean, look, you guys know it. I mean, you guys, your intention is very different. You guys, you operate from love. I mean, that's not to say we can't criticize people. I mean, we all have opinions, and even when you guys, throw on some criticism or whatever, it's still all from love,
Right.
and I see that, and that's why I love it. So it's like, great, you're entitled to all the opinions. What I can't stand is there are a lot of people who, I'm not saying you have to have played the game to earn a level of respect to be able to speak about it, but regardless, whether you're Jim Courier or you're someone who's never touched a racket in their life, there's got to be a sense of respect for someone who is putting themselves on the line in front of the world all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look, I like, I'll just go off on a tangent for a minute here, like I've done this entire hour. I detest when commentators or analysts, whatever, use the word journeyman. I just hate it, because guess what? Someone who's 50 or 150 or 250 still busted their ass to get there, and they are still a billion times better than any other player you've seen at a college level. If someone's ranked 250 in the world, they are playing in the NBA if they're playing basketball.
Right.
And all of a sudden over there, it's, oh man, you made it to the league. It's a different conversation. So I just want to take that whole respect first and kind of put that on Nick's name, because I think everyone's like, oh, this guy doesn't try. Oh, if he just focused, blah, blah, blah. Now, on the other hand, I'll say I think a lot of people maybe feel that way because of how uber stupidly talented the guy is. So, maybe they do feel that way. But let's just take a step back here for a minute too on okay. I told you guys a lot about my sort of life story and so forth. There was a lot of maturing and finding yourself and self-awareness that, I didn't really start feeling comfortable with until, like we talked about, 28, 29, 30. And I feel 10 times more confident in it now than I did 4 years ago. And God willing, 4 years from now, I'll feel more than I do now. Everyone's got to remember, which I don't think a lot of people take this into consideration when they're watching sport. When we watch sport, we are watching boys and girls from 15 years old, generally up to about 30. For anybody else, that is the time period where they are allowed to make the biggest mess ups. They are allowed to behave terribly, and no one says anything or makes it difficult for them to go and do their their junior partner job at a marketing firm, right? They just go do what they do, then they can focus on work. It's a little bit different here. So I think putting that kind of disrespect, pressure, whatever you want to call it, I think is unfair. And look, it happens to a lot of different athletes, but I do think Nick gets a lot more than he deserves. And look, on the other side, look, I'm not just, completely going one way on this. Nick doesn't behave well all the time. I mean, I was in Rome last year. The guy loses his serve. He goes and pulls a Bobby Knight and chucks the chair in the middle of the court. Of course, the guy's gonna get suspended. But do I think he necessarily deserved what was it? He got like a 6-month or 6-week suspension, something like that. Little bit excessive, but you know what? That I think that went towards the rules. If you get X amount of violations or whatever, it's an automatic suspension for a little time, and that was probably just a rule book thing, which I get. But anyway, the overarching thing is, I think he gets unfairly judged sometimes. I think if the media as a whole kind of made him feel a bit more comfortable to let a little bit more of Nick out, I think we'd all see the beautiful parts that of Kyrgios that he is. I think he's a great value to the game, even if he doesn't win a Grand Slam, because the eyeballs on him right now are as if he won a Grand Slam at 17, like Becker, and he's consistently been in the top 5 and so forth. That's the kind of eyeballs he's had on him, even though that's not the kind of results he's had. That should show you how special the kid is, So I think we should give him a little bit of freedom. And on another note, this guy has got so much flavor, and honestly, something that the sport doesn't see on a regular basis, because so many players are trying to be like someone else. Right. And I'm not saying, you should be like this, you should be like this. No, I am saying, everybody, be you. Like, as unadulterated as possible. If you are quiet and let your racket talk for you, be quiet. Let your racket talk for you. If you are loud and want to talk to the crowd and tell jokes, be Fabio Fognini. Fognini is one of the most charming guys I've ever met. And this is still the same guy who occasionally says some awful stuff on the court. But you know what? I wouldn't change Fabio for anything. I love watching the guy play. So I think Nick's a good example of, let the boys and girls be who they are. I think that would be the best thing for the sport. You take it back to the 70s, where the sport was like, at its height of popularity. Dad always talks about it. Do you know how many different characters you had? You had Borg, who was the Iceman. You had Nastasi, who was this complete hothead. You had McEnroe, who was from Queens, who took the hothead to the next level. You had Guillermo Vilas, who was a poet. The guy literally would write poetry and, kind of expressed it out there on the court. You had John Lloyd, who was, I think, ranked around 20, but he was like this, flamboyant, great-looking playboy from the UK. So many different characters. You had, Connors, who was like this boxer out on the tennis court. We need that, and quite frankly, I think we have that. We just have to let the players feel free to be able to do that.
Well, you know what, Prakash, since we made the decision that this is going to be a 2-part interview, if you wouldn't mind, you made me think about another player that I'm very interested in your thoughts. What about Jack Sock?
The last time Jack Sock's name came out was about a couple weeks ago, when I was doing commentary for the French, and I think Leif Shiras, we were doing the semis, turned over to me, and we were talking about Nadal and his RPMs, and we were like, who do you think has the most forehand besides Nadal? And first name that came to mind was Jack Sock. And he's the kind of guy who, when he puts his stuff together, he's a consistent top tenor. Yeah. He literally has the weapons to win a Grand Slam. These are the things that are tough to develop. I think it was either Courier or Roddick, I forget, one of them was saying this. I know for a fact they both agree with this. I just can't remember who said it. But being in shape is not it's not a talent. It's a choice. Right.
Uncle Jack.
but having weapons, you can work at stuff. But let's face it, some guys, have been sprinkled with a little bit more magic dust than some other guys.
Right.
So Jack Sock's forehand, Jack Sock's serve, this guy was hitting 140 when he was, 18 years old. He won Kalamazoo and came straight out. He was hitting 140.
Wow.
And his forehand was that big. The guy cruised through challengers, boom, shot up to the tour level. Now look, I get it. When you win Paris and then make the Nitto finals, you can have that sophomore slump. All of a sudden you expect, even bigger and bigger and better, but it's almost easier to go there. It's a little bit tougher to stay there,
Right.
Yep.
And look, bottom line, I think Jack's got it in him. Probably the biggest, talent we've got on the American side that we've seen in some time. I know we have some younger guys now who, that's a whole different story, the Opelkas and so forth. But Jack Sock has the weapons to win a slam. I think one of the best things for him is his current coach. I played my entire junior career and pro career with Alex Bogomolov. I think Alex Bogomolov is fantastic for Jack Sock. You know why? Because he's the kind of guy who did not have the weapons that Jack Sock had, but this dude loved the taste of blood.
Yeah.
You know? and let me tell you that is a skill, an asset that everyone needs to harness. Nadal, with all his $4 million boats and however many private planes he's got, this guy is willing to bleed every time he gets out on the court.
Yeah, right.
And when you got weapons like Jack's got, if you can harness those couple things, the fitness, the grit, man, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for the kid.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And Prakash, I promise, I'm going to ask you one last very quick question. Do you ever be interested in coaching?
Good one, Isaac.
I don't think I could do it in the sense that you're talking about, which is to go full time and really be with someone and travel with someone, simply because I love all what I'm doing, and I think I was increasing everything on. I got this like expression: keep putting stuff on your plate until it's too much, and then you can take a little off, and then you got that nice right Thanksgiving plate. And I think in that journey we talked about from 30 to now, I've kept putting stuff on my plate, and I'm so thankful and happy with the way it's looking right now. So I don't think I could travel and do it, but would I like to help someone, especially on the mental side of things? 1,000%. Only because, and this is how my speaking started at USC and different colleges and high schools. It really started because I called Peter Smith up one day, literally when I was 30. I had written this like 8-page thing of, I keep a journal and all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, yo, coach, I want to come and talk to the boys. He's like, okay, P. We had never done this before. Brings me in, jump into the team room. And it helped. These kids didn't know me, but there was a picture of me in the back, with the 2002 trophy. So at least they had a little bit of respect on the boy's name. But I sat there. Right? I sat there, and the gist of it was, God, if I knew what I knew at 30, at 18, man, I feel like the whole world would be a different place. So that's how that started. And look, you see it, man. When you see old interviews of Jordan, Nadal, all the greats, they sound at 18 like a regular 35-year-old does, because they know exactly what it is for them. So, if there's any way I can help and kind of channel that for any player, boy or girl, it's like I even tell Allie all the time when I was working with her, like all these talks, they might even be helping me more than they're helping you, because I love being a part of it. Like, friends of mine will just call and vibe on these things, and I think that's what a lot of players are missing. That was probably the strongest thing that I found with Venus and Serena, like seeing how they function and their values and beliefs. I'm like, yo, you are stepping onto the court with all that. I mean, that's the most beautiful armor I would ever want to go into war with, And whether it's sport or any of the goals that you're chasing in life, I just think it's constant development that you got to be working on literally all the time. And man, I just, like, the biggest thing I think we're battling is time.
Right.
Like, I mean, look at Kobe. Look at Chadwick. I cried I cried when Chadwick died, But, gentlemen, let me tell you, we are going to remember his name forever.
That's right. That's right.
The work he left and the imprint he left and his code that I'm talking about, children will remember that, So I'm just like, yo, boys and girls, we all don't have a lot of time. Let's put it together as quickly as we can. Let's learn from guys who have been there and either succeeded or even not succeeded, and just put your own code and put your own puzzle pieces together. So long story long. I would love to, but just more in a sort of, I guess, mental way. I think physically I can't be in a million places at once, but it would be really cool, because to see someone find it and put it together and kind of work in line with their purpose, I just think it's one of the most beautiful things, and that is contagious. Then another person feels it, then another person feels it.
Right,
And
right.
in a small way, the world starts getting affected in a really positive way. I mean, look, we've talked about him a bunch of times now. Look at Ali. Ali is making me better every single day, and he's been gone since June 2016, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I tell you what. Well, Prakash, first of all, we want to thank you because you have given us a good portion of your evening today to talk to not only us, but to our listeners. And I'm sure Isaac will agree. This interview has absolutely lived up to everything we thought it was going to be.
And then some. I'm telling you, man, we've learned. We've been inspired, man. You are just such an inspiring dude, man. It's so good talking with you and just hearing your stories, hearing your journey. It's just given us a lot to really think about and to really put into our own, lives to just continue to, do all and be all that we can be, man. Thank you so much, Prakash.
Absolutely. And when all of this Sharona go ahead and do what it's going to do.
Right.
We can't wait to actually meet you in person and grab that drink with you because you are definitely our kind of people for sure.
Yes, sir.
So
I appreciate that, guys, and all the kind words you had, for me, my work, and just what I'm trying to do. I could not be more grateful, and just you guys as well, man. I feel the same way. You guys, I can feel how genuine you guys are, and that goes into that whole, be you as much as you humanly can. It's contagious. It helps everyone. So I love that you guys are doing it, and I love that you guys are spreading the love for the game, which I still think has so much room to grow. So thank you, man. Got nothing but love for you guys.
Right. So look, hang on for just a second, Prakash. Don't leave yet. Isaac, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. So Prakash has the distinct pleasure of being our first two-part series interview. Our producer has been angling for this for a while, so he's finally going to get it. But to our listeners, thank you for listening. We're going to continue to bring you some exciting interviews as we enter into the off season, if you will, for the tennis world. So keep tuned for that. Isaac, any final words that you have for tonight?
No, just thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll be coming back at you very soon.
All right, so this has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone, take care.